We can go ahead and go live right now.
We live, Kathleen?
Yes.
Hey,
Hey,
are you playing my jam?
playing this for you, Weatherman.
Hold on. I must be mistaken.
You're live, but it's not happening.
It's your song, man.
Oh my goodness.
You gonna dance? Don't knock the banner down if
Hey.
you get out of control.
Hey. If I'm not mistaken, this was my jam back about 10 years.
Ah!
Oh, yeah.
This is what you're looking for.
That's what I wanted. Oh, you. Come on, get up there with me, GTD.
Come on in, Jim.
That's my jam right there. Whoop, whoop.
Jimmy!
Dibble, hey, Dibble. Show us what you got. Show us what you.
I got a call
Show us
from
what
you.
you're working with. Show us what you're working with.
Oh.
What's wrong with our internet moving awfully slow?
It has been slow.
Oh, there it is.
Mmm.
It's about time to
Right.
get started with the man on
About
Real
time.
Estate
Hey,
101.
you got me fired up on Backstreet Boys. I don't care what anybody says. One of the greatest boy groups of all time.
Backstreet
again.
Boys. Hey, we're about to turn
Back.
this down. All right,
Man,
guys, it's
hey, I'm pumped now. I got some Backstreet Boys flavor.
you ready? You love them Backstreet Boys?
I like Backstreet Boys.
All right, Weatherman, it is time. It's time to get started for Real Estate 101.
101. It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, 1 o'clock. That means we come to you live from GTT Studios to do Real Estate 101, where we're the #1 digital real estate network in Murfreesboro.
And we challenge anybody to try to take us down.
Weatherman is confrontational today,
Oh,
folks.
I gotta like it.
You got to get some viewers up. Well, every Wednesday, as you know, we do Real Estate 101, where our goal is to put as much real estate content out there. It's for educational purposes. It's not to promote us. If you're a real estate agent, please ask questions. We'll also promote you. We have several agents that come on here and ask questions. We have several agents that actually come into the show. So, Weatherman.
Hey, we got Nate, Big Nate. Hey, got me looking pretty as always.
Are you always pretty?
That's my guy right there, son. Yeah,
He makes you look good.
He makes me look pretty.
Real
Hey,
pretty.
Dwayne Campbell, thank you, buddy, for viewing in so early. Andrew Benson.
Hey, old girl Benson.
All right. And you know who's on here.
Who?
You know who's on here.
Who?
Miss GTT's on here.
Miss GTT is not on here. She may have jumped on here, but I think her and Nicholas are having their day today. So,
Well, it says she's watching us.
well, let's see if she comments.
Did she fake it and just, is she one of those ones that added us and put her phone down? That way she could just act like she watched us?
She could do that.
We're going to do a quiz later. That's hey, what did we talk about?
She may be on here. She may surprise us. Be on the lookout.
Sean Watt, if you're on, hey, I'm right here. She
Can't
said.
do it without you, Brittany Renee.
Hey, I like his little thing in the GTT shirt. That was a pretty cool little ad Kathleen did. That was awesome.
Weatherman, get us started with them sponsors. You
Sponsors.
You're so good. I love the energy you got today, Weatherman.
Oh, we got 3 of the most fantastic folks that continue to support us, and we can't do it without them. We want to start off this week with Scott Abernathy, one of the smartest guys we know. Rent from Scott, one of the best property managers and all around. So, guys, if you got some property and you're tired of the headache, give Scott Abernathy a call. We also want to give a big shout out to Belinda Arender at Iberia Mortgage. She does so much for us as a team, but us as a company as well. She definitely is at real estate in our Master Mondays. She's always here. She always answers the phone. She is definitely one of the best, if not the best, mortgage broker in all of Rutherford County. And our breakfast buddy himself, the trout magnet, none other than Roy Frazier from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Farm Bureau.
And last but not least, the big guy that's up on the slopes, probably just, hey, you reckon he's just like doing them slaloms and just
He's
a
moving,
natural out there?
He's probably moving like a natural.
I bet he is. John Jones, appreciate you, buddy. We can't do it without you. Thank you for allowing us to do this. And also, I want to thank my co-host GTT.
Hey, I appreciate that way, man.
I couldn't do it without him. Stevie Savisa.
I got Sean White, the kid, on here. We started this together.
Hey,
We've come
Melinda's
along.
on here.
Melinda, hey, we're talking about it. I do want to add two quick things before we get started. Number one, it's that time of year where we get a lot of storms, and that means insurance. And I want to tell you, if your insurance is coming up, where it's time to renew, you need to talk to Roy Frazier.
Absolutely.
So I do want to make sure you know that, because whenever storms happen, that's when you really, really, really need your homeowner's insurance. And I think Farm Bureau is the best. The other thing, got a new sponsor. We got to get him something up here. But my buddy Bug of Tennessee, Bug Solution of Tennessee, we're going to post that right there, bugstn.com, if you're looking for your termites.
You know what I've noticed about Roy?
But
Roy is actually just about knows all his clients by name. It's not just a transaction. He's definitely a transformation insurance guy.
let's brag on Roy a little bit. One day we were at breakfast, and he was talking to one of his clients were there, and he said, "Hey man, I went by your house the other day, or maybe it's yesterday," and he was telling him what was wrong with his house.
Yeah.
He inspects all the houses.
He does. Roy is definitely top notch. Stacy Lillard, glad to have you on here, cuz.
Is that your cousin?
That's my, man, I'm kidding everybody, but she's one of them.
You got a big old family, man.
Big old family, big old
A big
oak
old
tree.
family. So hey, here's what we're going to talk about. This is a problem we're seeing. It's very common where we talk to someone, they want to buy a house, but they got to sell their house. So they don't want to. They don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to leave their house until they know exactly where they're going to go. Are you following me?
So what that would mean, to put it in layman's term, they want their cake and eat it too.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. And
I would be the same way.
we are all the same way. I always feel like when we're buying something, we become very selfish because we only worry about what we want.
Yeah.
So whenever you're buying a home in this kind of a market, we're going to go through some things that are going to help you. But I'm going to tell you this: be prepared to be inconvenienced somehow. If you've got to sell your home to buy something else, you're walking into the game with a disadvantage.
Let me give you a good analogy.
Give it to me, what man?
If you want to go to the gym and get in great shape, it's going to take some hard work and you're going to be uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, the sacrifice is the results are worth the sacrifice. It's the same concept in this market. You're going to be inconvenienced. It's not going to be very fun. But in the end result, you're going to be excited about doing what you did.
So I'm going to break this down into a few different things. Number one, I need you to understand the seller's position in this type of market. If I'm selling my home and the weatherman wants to come by my home, but then we've got somebody else in line because he's got to sell his home. You see what I'm saying?
I see
so
that.
that puts me in a position to where I don't want to deal with this right here. I only want to deal with somebody that can come in here and buy my home.
It's a roadblock.
Yes, we're just adding extra baggage onto this little domino effect. So if you can buy my house without selling anything, it's going to make me much more interested in your offer.
I agree.
In this type of market, let's just say under 300,000, maybe even 350 at this point, maybe even more, maybe just in general in this market, people are they're gonna be much more likely to deal with somebody that does not have the extra hoops they got to go through.
Yeah, because some people have actually sold their house, rented an apartment, and are actively looking.
That's right. Hey, I forgot to add this. Every week, we whoever shares our streams, we'll pick one person and one random person. We don't go through there and screen and pick who we want. But share our stream and you'll be rewarded with a $25 gift card from the Alley on Main, which is my favorite restaurant.
Hey, we're gonna name it. I'm gonna try to get them to name the chicken parmesan after me.
After the weatherman. So hey, if you're watching this, share it. You share it. You may be chosen. So let's talk about how a buyer feels right now, Weatherman. You're very good at explaining how people, how do they feel right now? You know, they want to find the house before they put theirs on the market. So.
What the buyer's biggest fear is them selling their house where they've raised their kids and lived in, and then having nowhere to go, and then scared about not being able to find anything because of the fear of multiple offers, of all these different things. So what they want to be able to find a house, put their house on the market, and then buy that one. Mm-hmm. And realistically, I tell all my buyers, as bad as you hate to say it, plan on a 6-month apartment somewhere. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be comfortable, but you're going to have a shot of getting your house. Now, there are different parameters. If you're buying a pre-sale of a $450,000 house, and the builder just starts and it's a 7-month build, you have a little bit of leeway there that you can possibly do that. But if you're moving from a 150 to a 250, you almost have to have your house sold or you're not going to be able to. Well, y'all just had a house at 250 and had multiple offers the first day.
And you know what? I thought we were high at that price.
Yeah.
We were $259, and I thought we should be at $249.9. And I was blown away by the lack of offers that came in at that price and even over that price. So that's something we're going to talk about on a different day. So I'm going to give you 5 different scenarios, Weatherman, and I've got these numbered on the most likely to succeed all the way down to the least likely to succeed. So the best way to buy your home right now is to just not have a home to sell.
I agree.
That is the best way.
So let's ask this. So let's just say your name's Mark, and you have a house to sell, Mark. Mm-hmm. And you come to me and say, "Hey, I don't want to buy something until I sell my house." Mm-hmm. What would your advice be to give to that guy?
Well, that's. Have you got your house listed?
No,
that's the least
have a stage. It ain't even clean.
Okay, well that's
my dog chewed up the window seals.
We're going to get to that because that's like the most unlikely way to be able to buy something right now. Is because if I'm selling the home and my name is Mark and you come to me and first off, I don't want to have to deal with anything else. So if you were to come to me and say, I don't have anything to sell, I'm going to be more likely to negotiate with you.
Right.
If I don't want to deal with you, I'm going to make you offer me something that's kind of outlandish to where it's not going to be in your best interest.
Well, let me ask you this, and realtors, don't take this the wrong way, because I promise we love each and every one of all 4,000 of us out there. Do you think a lot of realtors don't tell people the truth just to try to get both sides of the deal and just to say and kind of go along with what, instead of doing a professional job and telling the upfront information, them saying, well, hey, we can write it up contingent upon your selling, we'll make a strong offer, and I know this guy and we should have a shot. Do you think that's kind of being said out there in the market?
You know, I think some agents will do what they need to be professional, but unfortunately, a lot of times the client, they can take things the wrong way. So most agents, I think, are more fearful of telling them something
the truth,
because they could just lose the client because they want to hear what makes them feel good. They want to believe they can do it their way. So a lot of times they don't want to listen to something that they don't believe. It's hard.
Right.
You've got to find a way to where you can communicate this with them to where they're not offended and where you've got to be convincing. You've got to be right in what you're telling them, and they're gonna listen to your tone, your body language. There's going to be more than just words. So
well, before you go to number 2, this is a statistic that you could probably give me a number. If you're looking to buy 250 and under, and you have a house to sell that's not on the market yet, what is the percentage you think that you even have a shot of getting that house?
I think your house is not on the market.
Not on the market.
I think it's got to be less than 10%. It's got to be.
I mean,
it's got to be so low in this kind of. Now, again, understand this. There's a buyer's market, there's seller's market, and then once the market is stable at that equilibrium point, which is about a 6-month supply of homes, is like that is where things should be. That's very balanced. So if you're under 3 months, that means it's a seller's market. They know they're going to sell the house within X amount of months. If it's skewed to where it takes 6 months or longer to sell the inventory, that's a buyer's market. So
Lisa
right
Progarzone, Jim Dibble, Richard Neese, Adam Wright. Adam, as Tommy told you that I'm his new best friend now. Has he broke the news to you yet? Did you tell him yet?
I wanted to wait. Till
Okay,
we were out.
I'm sorry, I spilled the beans.
I wanted to let him know. But we got some people that are commenting. I think Blair, Brittany Renee.
Richard Neese said, challenging, selling, solve problems. Don't be afraid to control the conversation.
That's right. You gotta control the conversation with skills to where they're not offended by it. So Blair, would you recommend that people sell their house before you get serious about looking?
Depends on if you're definite down, if you're determined that you want a new house, it's not a bad idea.
And when you say new, that's not necessarily a brand
No,
new.
yeah,
It's just
if you know
a new
you
home,
want, exactly
you're ready
right.
to move.
You either want something bigger.
I agree. That's what I would tell people. I mean, if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, we're moving hell or high water.
Yeah.
I think you need to put yourself in a position to where you're very mobile. And what I mean by that is if you go into an apartment or a friend or family, 6 months, if you're in an apartment for 6 months, which it's not easy to find 6-month leases right now, I don't think, but you need to be to where you can get in and out very quickly.
Yep.
So number 2, the second most successful way is to get bridge loan financing, which
Ooh.
that means, well, when I say bridge loan, meaning you can qualify for two homes, the one you live in and the one you're buying. A bridge loan, you can buy something, and when you sell it, you can transfer that equity back into the mortgage that you currently have. Or if you just have a loan on your house and you go out and get a loan on the new one, that's risky, but it does not hurt your ability to negotiate to get the house that you want.
Right. And remember this, a bridge loan is not an easy loan to get.
Mm-mm.
Your debt to ratio has to be super low. Your income has to be pretty good. And so most of the time, 250 and unders don't really qualify for bridge loan unless your house is paid off.
Unless you're really living below your means.
Right, exactly
which
right.
Most people don't. So
Hey, BJ Henley says your topic of the day is exactly what the situation
my
I'm
guy
in.
BJ, hey, we're gonna sell your house, BJ. He lives on down the
Oh,
beach.
Adam said, you know that's not happening, weatherman. When you move off to Florida, you kind of start losing your rights to your BFF.
So here's number 3 safest way to buy a house is you buy your new home when your house is currently under contract.
That's right.
Am I making that clear, Kathleen?
Yes, sir.
The home you live in, the current home that you own is under contract, and now you go out. Now, on a lot of our new construction homes that are above 400,000, we understand a lot of times we're going to have to deal with we don't mind dealing with something that's not under contract, but if
Right.
somebody comes in and their house is under contract, we see no problem whatsoever in taking their deal if
Right.
their house is under contract. We actually recognize that almost as like, hey, they don't even have to sell a home. So
Here's a big issue with that number 3. Couple things. You still have contingencies in a lot of these offers. Appraisals, home inspections. Now, the biggest one that I've seen is your home sells before your new home closes. So you have about a 2-week lapse and nowhere to go. So you're homeless for 2 weeks. So I see that happen a lot in that situation.
You brought up something we should have addressed. The reason why sellers do not want to deal with the home, sell a home contingency is because what he said. There's so many things that can come up that will kill the deal. Home inspection on that other house. There's always going to be financing contingencies. There's just so many other things that you're adding in a lot more problems. Lance Smith, you asked a question. If you could get a bridge loan, can you also consider renting out your current? You can use 75% of gross rent as income the second you have signed. Now, Lance, I don't know if banks still allow you to do that. I think the way
I could have like 6 months rental history.
well, I think what the banks are wanting now is they want to see
6 months reserve.
they want to see on your rentals before they count any of your income They want to see it on your tax return.
Yeah.
Is the way I think they. Now some banks may have different ways of doing that, but I know my banker, the best banker, Ronnie Martin. He's going to look at my real, like if I bought something last June, he's not going to count anything in that until I file my new taxes.
Right.
And then he'll show on there if I made money or not. So Richard, I think if you want to rent out, it is a way to do it, but I think you're going to have to qualify. You're not going to get any help qualifying for that new home. I'm pretty sure about that unless they've changed that very recently.
And
So-
one thing to remember is, other than a cash offer, the financial, and everybody probably don't know this, the financial contingency goes all the way to the close date, unless you have a cash offer that you have proof of funds. And then, so always remember that you never know what's going to happen in any real estate transaction, and it happens. I mean, as bad as I hate to say it, there's been instances. And so a lot of times when you have a house to sell and the people buying that house may lose their job.
That's right.
And so what happens is when you have something that nobody has to sell, they don't have to buy, they're strong qualified, they're qualified with a local lender, it's hard not to take that offer over a contingency
You
offer.
know, well, as a rule of thumb, I guess it depends on your price point, but how much, let's say the $250,000 house, how much would you value a cash offer versus a conventional loan?
On a 250?
Yeah.
I'm okay with either one.
Okay.
The only, I tell you what, the only difference that I would take is if the cash didn't do an appraisal.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing. And then we'll have to worry about it.
I would say you're right, because if it doesn't work out with a cash buyer, you can always go back out there and resell it. So moving along, number 4, now we're getting into least likely ways to pull this off.
Which means you probably ain't gonna get it.
Good chance you ain't gonna get it unless you're higher up in your price point. So number 4, and remember this, contingencies will usually hurt your ability to negotiate.
Yeah.
You ain't got any room to negotiate whenever you're wanting to do these last two.
Break that down, what you mean by that.
Well, if you're asking $350 for a
Okay,
house,
$350.
I've got to sell my house, and you
Okay.
come in there and you want $10,000 in closing costs, or you're asking for $10,000 in closing, and you haven't even put your house on the market. And here's something else you got to understand. I, as the seller, am going to ask, okay, if you're going to do this, and if I take that offer, I'm going to have the right to continue to market my home.
Yes.
I'm going to have 48 hours first right of refusal, which means this. He can submit his offer, I can accept it, but I can continue to market the house. And if someone comes in and makes an offer and we get it agreed upon, the weatherman would have 48 hours to remove his contingency, or this person would be the offer that I would go with.
Right, correct.
So if you don't have your home under contract and you're coming to me and you're wanting something like that, I may just counter you back at full price. I may say, hey, the only way I'm going to do this is if you pay me full price and no closing cost.
You know, everybody that I've ever had to sell a home contingency, I've always told them, you might as well come in full price, no closing costs. That's the only way you have a chance of them probably taking your offer, unless the house has been on the market for 2 months. And then if it's been on the market for 2 months, so let's just say the house has been on the market 2 days. I come in with this offer. I let my buyers know right up front, we don't have the power to ask for anything because of our situation. And in our situation, we pretty much have to pay full price and possibly not, and buy the house as is with the acceptable home inspection. So I have to make my offer as strong as I can because I have this big red X on my offer. And so I have to do something to make that red X go away.
That's right.
And closing costs is not going to make it go away.
What I tell people is you're bringing baggage to this.
Yeah,
You're not,
yeah.
We don't even have a deal until you get a contract.
Exactly
Then we still
right.
got to go through everything. Hey, our guy Scott Abernathy, right over here, I guess.
Abernathy.
He is on here and he says you guys do a great job. And you know, if you know Scott Abernathy, that guy, hey, it's over here. I'm sorry, it's over here. I was looking at the wrong place. Scott Abernathy throws compliments around like you do Volkswagens. I mean, very
yeah, I
rarely does
know,
he compliment me.
yeah.
So hey, he's probably in Las Vegas. I appreciate him watching.
Teresa Hanson said, do you have experience with buyers offering a good price and 2 weeks before closing, they demand you come down 20% of offer, which was below asking price to begin with? What would you do? Well, once you're under contract, it really doesn't matter. You know, so I wouldn't come down. Once I had you under contract and I have your earnest money, I'm not going anywhere. And hey, another thing hey, well, I like these things. These bullet points just kind of hit you, don't they? Man, you just feel smart when they hit you. Don't
You
you?
are smart with
So
it.
what happens is, if you have a sell a home contingency and you want your offer to be strong, I highly recommend, I can't tell you to do it because earnest money is not, you don't even have to put earnest money down, but a good chunk of earnest money will help you on that offer. $500 will probably not do it.
I'm surprised nobody's been commenting on my mohawk.
It's a fro hawk.
Okay, maybe I need to go a little bit shorter. Number 5, the
No.
least likely way to get a house is by, without even having your home listed, you're putting offers on another home. You'd be amazed at,
Hey, not listed and overpriced.
yeah. So you haven't even listed your home, and now you're going out there and you're trying to negotiate to get a home. See, in this kind of a market, it's like nobody has to. It would be kind of like this, Weatherman.
Talk to me.
It's kind of like Chick-fil-A where they're not going to sell one more chicken biscuit. If you drive up, you look at the menu and you say, well, I'm walking out of here. You even put your order in and say, well, I'm walking out of here. They can turn around and sell it to the next person.
Oh, they going,
I mean, it's just like that right now, especially under $350,000.
Well, here's what I've seen, and buyers out there and sellers out there. Remember, we're just trying to be honest. We're not one of these ones that want to tell you what you want to hear. We want to tell you the truth about the market. If you're looking to buy a different house and sell your house, I've seen time and time again, you want top dollar for your house and want to buy this next house. Sometimes you don't get top dollar if you need to make this thing work. So just for an example, you're trying to buy my $300,000 house in Regency Park. You have a $200,000 house in Juniper Acres. But since the market's so strong, you want to ask $220,000 for it. Well, I look at that whenever I look at your contract. I want to know how much your house is listed for, what are the comps in your areas, and what are you doing to aggressively sell it, even if I don't have another offer. Because I still don't want you to offer if you can't sell your house.
That's right. Weatherman.
You like nuggets, baby.
Dang,
Nuggets.
you showing me up today. Weatherman.
I mean, this is this is just like off
Show
the
me your
cuff.
notes.
Hey, yeah, here's my notes. It's
Show
just,
me-
it's
show
just
me
off
notes,
the cuff.
Weatherman.
It's off the cuff.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you now, we'll go and give a little nugget or two right here.
Tracy Hackney House, thank you for joining.
Right now,
Teresa Hanson, thank you.
we're going to tell you a few ways that where you can pull your best options to be able to pull this off. I've got a few of them right here, okay? In a new construction house, where there's an opportunity to ask the builder to hold it off the market for 7 days so you could sell your home without asking for any type of first right of refusal. But this house has to almost be completed.
Yes.
If the home is almost completed or if it's completed, get your agent to write the offer and just say, look, we're going to be able to sell our home within 1 day. Negotiate this into the contract and say, will you give us 7 days to sell our house? And a lot of times they will do that. Some of them may say 5, some of them may say 3, but sometimes you only need 1 day. Some days you only need 1 day to sell
Absolutely
something.
right.
So that is one way if you want to find a house that's, let's just say if it's 45 days out.
Yeah.
That would be your best bet. And just say, hey, we want to go ahead, make an offer on this. We don't want to lose this house. Could you give us 5 to 10 days to be able to sell our home? Have y'all ever done anything like that?
Yeah, we're doing one now. We actually, matter of fact, they have to list. They're listing it this week. So that's, and remember, most new construction houses don't list their houses until It's pretty much the cabinets are in and it's painted and trimmed. So if you're looking for a new house, drive around the neighborhoods because there's a ton of houses that aren't listed yet, and you could find a house that's about 60, 70 days from being finished, and it gives you a little bit of time to be able to do the contingency.
So what we had a house, it closed yesterday where the home was just about completed. They wrote the offer. They asked us, hey, will you give us like 7 to 10 days to be able to sell our house? And they sold their house within moments of it being on the MLS. So a lot of builders, depends on their listing agent, well, maybe they can help you get that deal.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be a pre-sale. But
David asked us.
know what you're getting into, because most of the builders now will probably, we signed up a pre-sale, it was a buyer of mine in Cascade Falls, and listen to what this buyer is, or the seller's doing out there. Holland's Head, is that, so, I mean, I can't believe he's willing to do this for my couple. He is letting them build the house they want without putting theirs on the market, and he just says, hey, go ahead and put it on the market once we start painting. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do if we haven't sold it when it's your house is completed? He's like, I'll extend it for him, which most people will not do that. So
That's very, very rare.
that's very rare. But I do want to say thank you for doing
Yeah,
that.
but
Amy
Holland's
Neighbor-
Head's a different. Holland's
He
Head's
is.
a great man and a great guy.
So that was that was awesome that he did that. So if you were to say, hey, we want to build a house, what we want to do is go here in this subdivision, pick this out, then we'll sell our house. A lot of times people get a little greedy though.
Well,
They
let's-
only want to move one time.
Well, let's ask this. So you represent Joey Richardson, which with the Richardson Group builds a wonderful house, top notch
best.
builder.
The best.
I represent Hunt Construction, one of the best
The
builders out
best.
there.
The best.
How, at what point is it pretty much mandated your house? At 60 days, 90 days? At kind of what point is it like, hey, your house has to be on the market by this particular time?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is exactly like your point in Regency Park. We're going to find out where your house is.
Yeah, how
We're
much?
going to make a decision based early in this process about where your house is, how much you're going to ask. So then we're going to have that. That's going to influence how patient we're going to be with somebody.
Gotcha.
So if we feel like they're being a little too unrealistic, we're probably going to adjust our expectations and start marketing it sooner.
Right.
But I think once it's been painted, you need to have that thing. Probably once the cabinets are in there, you need to.
I'd say 60 days at least.
And let me tell you why. Because these builders will probably do this, but most builders are going to ask for non-refundable earnest money.
Yes.
So you can lose the house, and then you can lose your earnest money, which could be $5,000 to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
It depends on what they're going to ask for. So,
A good rule of thumb on earnest money, just to be safe on new construction, about the lowest loan you can do is a 3.5% FHA. So you can almost bank on 3.5% down. That's what they want for they want your down payment in earnest money.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's $400,000, they probably at least want $12,000 to $15,000 in non-refundable earnest money.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they want you to pay for the overages up front,
That's right. That's right.
and that's non-refundable.
Yeah, we could probably get into that. Kathleen, that could be a talk one day. A real estate 101 where we're talking about pre-sales. And
Man, your boy is on it today.
you.
Yeah. Who else is in it?
All right, so let's go back through this. We've been going 33 minutes. I want you to understand right now how slanted we are to a seller's market. What I mean by that, they know if you do not buy their home, they're going to be able to sell it very shortly thereafter to you, to somebody else. The buyers right now, they've got to understand if they've got to sell their home, they've got I've talked about 5 ways that's going to rank from the most likely to the least likely. Number 1 is no home to sell. That'd be the best bet.
Best bet.
Number 2 is to have bridge financing or be able to qualify for 2 loans. Number 3 is to buy the new home when your old home is under contract. Number 4 is to buy when you're try to buy whenever you've got your house listed. That is the sale of home contingency, which you're going to ask for a 48-hour first right of refusal, which means if another offer comes in as they continue to market their house, you've got 48 hours to sell your home, which can happen. Number 5, the least likely is to try to buy a home without having your house on the market.
Hey, is it a trick rule that if you have a 48-hour right of refusal, that you have to put it in the MLS as sell a home on the listing?
The way they do it now, I think it's either showing or not showing.
Okay.
So I do think it's got to go in there as under contract showing, which
Okay.
there's some. If it's not showing, that means you cannot accept another contract.
Gotcha.
So if you're going to try to do this, new construction probably presents the greatest chance of you to be able to do it.
That, yeah.
But again, understand whenever you're dealing with a builder, a lot of times you're going to make your earnest money non-refundable, which means you ain't getting it back. So, Weatherman, is there anything I've missed that you think we need to cover?
No, I think it flowed good. I think it's definitely, we're in that market. There's a lot of fear because there's a lack of inventory. And it's not really a lack of inventory, it's just there's such a big gap. From 250 and under, we don't have anything, and then we jump to, we have some 300s and a bunch of 400s, but there's just this huge void, and everybody we need to sell that would fill that void, they're kind of stuck. They can't really get to 400 to 450. They need to be at 325 to 350.
Right.
And with the cost for everything, it's just like we don't have anything. And so that's kind of what's kind of caused this uproar that we're in right now.
And we're going to continue to see this seller's market until home prices go up to where buyers just stop.
Yeah.
And that could be forced because of rates, or they could just say, it's too high, we're not going to buy right now. Rates could have something to do that. The economy could slow down. So for right now, this year, I see another good rise in home prices. I don't see the slowdown, or I don't see home sitting. How do you see your predicted rate increase? Got a question from Lance Smith. How do you see the predicted rate increases later on this year affecting the market? Teresa, your house would sell fast. Yes, we do know that. Real fast.
Real fast.
Lance, the rates that have gone up, I haven't seen buyers react to it yet.
No, that doesn't matter.
Haven't seen it, but there is a fine line, Lance. That's a great question. I don't know where. A lot of times we probably won't know it until we're correcting, unfortunately. But
I think until we hit the 5s, we probably won't see a lot of fear or a lot of people really talking about it, because we're in the 4s, and 4s are still it's almost like free money. I mean, when you got a 4% interest rate, it's just really, really good.
And I also think, Lance, whenever they see rates going up, there will be kind of a little push to get in because fear of rates will go higher. So I don't know if we're going to know when that, we may not know that until it's too late a lot of times.
True.
But thanks for your question, Lance. Weatherman, Kathleen, is there anything we need to add?
The last thing I would like to add is guys, if you're looking to sell and buy, I tell all my clients, and I'm up front with them, point blank, let's sell your house, let's get it sold, let's get you top dollar, let's not be in a rush, let's look at a 6-month game plan, hopefully we can do it in 3, and once your house is sold, you have the power over a lot of folks. So I encourage a lot of folks absolutely to sell before we really get into looking, just because of we take the power away from you whenever we have to sell and buy. And not to mention, you're going to find something you really like, and somebody else is going to buy it because yours isn't sold. So it's just best to go ahead and sell, either move in with a relative, find a short-term lease, and then something that's cheap and easy to get out of if we find you a home, and then we can go in strong and we'll win you the house that you really want to be in.
Hey, Adam says if you're looking for a BFF, the Weatherman is available.
I got one, Mr. Right.
Hey, who saw the Weatherman's modeling photos yesterday? The coming soon, of course, was my favorite.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions? Everybody that has asked questions, we really appreciate it. If you got any ideas for what we could discuss in the future, please post a comment in there. And don't forget, if you shared this, we're going to go through here. Looks like there was 9 shares. We're going to go through there and we're going to pick one person, and they're going to get the Alley on Main gift card, $25. I wish I could give you more. But also, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, tune in to Straight from the Gut with GTT, where I'm going back and I'm talking about my painful life experiences. Painful. A lot of times we don't learn unless we go through some type of pain. Unfortunately for me, I was never smart enough to figure out shortcuts. I had to be taught lessons a lot of time. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and tune it off. If you got any questions, please post. Please tune in next Wednesday, 1 o'clock. I don't know what we're talking about next week, but we'll have a topic coming out soon. Everybody have a great day. And remember, if you're looking to buy a house and you've got to sell your house, you know what you got to do. I've given you 5 reasons. Kathleen Sparkle, shut us down, girl.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets, folks.